Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all His sincere followers, to all the listeners online, and of course, the congregation of ISKCON Central New Jersey. I am honored to be amongst all of you. And as per the topic that was given to me, it is Balya Leela of Krishna. So before I start, I would like to offer my Mangalacharan, my obeisances, and to all the Vaishnavas in our Gaudiya Guru line. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vancha Kalpatarovescha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Ajanu Lambito Bhujau Kanakayo Dhato Sankirtanai Pitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishwambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagata Priya Karo Karuna Avtaro Navanirada Nindita Kanti Dharam Rasasagar Nagar Bhupavaram Shubhavanki Macharu Sikhanda Sikhim Vaja Krishna Nidhim Vrajaraj Sutam Radhika Saroda Indu Nindi Mukha Mandali Vandiye Shri Pada Padma Vrishabhanu Nandini Vandiye Shri Pada Padma Vrishabhanu Nandini Aradhya Bhagwan Vrajesha Tanayastadham Vrindavanam Ramya Kachid Upasna Prajavadu Vargena Taya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavata Puranamalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Mataidam Nayatra Graha Paraha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So again, my humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnavas present, and it is my good fortune to associate with the ISKCON Central New Jersey devotees online. Thank you, Prabhuji's from the management for inviting me to give this Hari Katha on your regular Sunday Zoom Bhagavatam class. And today's theme is Balya Leela of Sri Krishna. Of course, you know, the topics, the narrations of Krishna are impossible even for Lord Anantasesh to even if Anantasesh says, if I had thousands and thousands of mouths and thousands of ears, which Rupa Goswami also mentions, it is impossible to glorify Sri Krishna, Nanda Nandan, Rajendra Nandan Krishna, his qualities, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, his dham, his holy names. But however, with my limited knowledge and my limited capabilities, I will still try my best within the allotted time to describe at least one beautiful Leela of Balya Leela of Krishna based on Srimad Bhagavatam and the books of the Acharyas. Mukam karoti vachalam pangulangai te yat kripa tamham vande Shri Guru Dhirataridam. Hare Krishna. So, it is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Gopis sing of the glories of the Katha of Krishna. In the Gopi Geet, the Gopis said, Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Bhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Shrimadaatatam Bhuvi Grinanti Je Bhurida Jana Bhuvi Grinanti Je Bhurida Jana. Hare Krishna. So the narrations and the pastimes of Lord Krishna are Amrit. They bring deathlessness to all. Death is Mrita and Amrit is the opposite. And Tava Katha Amritam Tapta Jivanam. We are simply suffering in this material world with the different influences of the modes of nature and the three tapas, Adhyatmik, Adibhautik, and Adidevik kleshas or tapas. And the narrations and pastimes of Sri Krishna are indeed, they give us great relief. Tapta Jivanam, Kavi Biriditam Kalmashapaham. And it is the opinion of the great Vaishnavas, Acharyas, that it will eradicate our sadness, our moroseness, our plight of suffering. And indeed, those personalities, Bhuvi Grinanti Je Bhurida Janaha, those personalities who traverse all over the world, like His Divine Krishna Prabhupada, are indeed the most munificent personalities who go all over the world and preach Krishna consciousness, who give the opportunity for Hari Katha. So my obeisances to His Divine Grace, to millions and millions of obeisances to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas in our Gaudiya Guru Varga. So there are different leelas that happen in the Balya leela of Sri Krishna based on 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And I will only stick to the Balya leela as per the 10th canto. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned in Chaitanya Siksha Amrita, Chaitanya Siksha Amrit, where he describes the different activities, including when Krishna was very little, in his very young age, in his Balya Leela, he killed many demons in Vrindavan, which are actually representations of the various anarthas that we all possess. So very briefly, Putna, when Krishna appeared in the first few days, Putna came as to kill Krishna by applying some very, very heavy poison on her breast and tried to kill Krishna by feeding him her own stanpan. And so she represents a false guru, according to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But Krishna is so merciful that actually he turned around the life of Sukadeva Goswami when he heard this verse from the children, the Brahmins, playing in the forest. When he left his home, as soon as he appeared, he did not want him to fall into Maya. So he immediately left, and Vyasadeva ran after him. Yam prabrajantam anupeta peta krityam dvaipayano virakata rajiva. Oh, my dear son, please stop. Please stop. I still have to do your sanskaras. I have to, and the trees in the forest started reverberating Vyasadeva's voice, but he did not stop. But when he heard this wonderful verse, Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jigamsya apayayada piya sadvi lebhe gatim datri uchitam tato anyam kam va dayalum sharanam vrajena. What a beautiful verse. He asked the Brahmin boys, where did you learn this? And he said, we learned it from Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is my father. He taught you this? And what does it mean? Aho bakiyam. the sister of Baki, the demon Baki, or meaning Putna, Sthana Kalakutam. She applied Kalakuta, a very, very heavy poison on her breast. And out of envy, Jigamshaya, envy, Apyavadapi Asadvi, she out of envy picked up Krishna and tried to kill him. But Lebhe Gatim Dhatri Uchitam Toto Anyam. As she got the position of a nurse or a mother in Golok Vrindavan. Mostly when all demons are killed by Krishna or Krishna's avatars, they get the Sayujya Mukti, which according to the Vaishnavas is considered Narkiya or hellish. There are 5 types of Mukti, as we all know. There's Sayujya Mukti, which the entity or the soul ends up in the Brahma Jyoti, where there is no direct service to the Lord. It is an undifferentiated space which is bereft of the 3 guns of material nature, Tamagun, Rajagun, and Satagun. But actually speaking, there is no service. And according to Lord Brahma, I believe in the 11th canto, he says that those who reach that Brahma Jyoti, either the Mayavadis or the Brahmavadis, at some point they fall down. Aroha Kruchena Patanti Adaha Vimuktamanena. They think they are liberated, but they fall down from that platform. And then they come back. Prabhupada mentions that they come back and they try to involve themselves into philanthropic works, like building schools, hospitals, etc. So the highest philanthropic work is Bhuvi Grinanti Je Bhurida Jana, the verse that I just mentioned from the Gopi Geet, that those who go around the entire creation or entire world, entire globe, giving Krishna consciousness to everyone are indeed the highest donors, the highest charitable persons, the most munificent of all. So, Kam Vadalum Sharanam Vrajena. Who else should I take shelter of than that Krishna who even gave a Putna who came to kill him the position of a Dhatri. Dhatri means a nurse or a nanny or mother. So who is more merciful than him, who can even give such a great position in Golok? So like this, there are different demons that in Bal Leela Krishna killed. Shaktasur, the card demon. What does that indicate? That indicates our old and new and bad habits like lethargy and pride. Then he also killed Trinavrata. Trinavrata, according to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Trinavrata represents that demon that represents false pride, mundane scholarship, and bogus philosophies. So we have to be very careful. Many a time, I tell myself first and then whoever I share Krishna consciousness with, that we are not here to become scholars. These are the words of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We have to become Shuddha Bhaktas. That's what our earnest endeavor or desire should be. Because the moment we start studying Shastra and we dive deep into it, a certain false pride arises in us and we can become scholars. Instead of becoming Das, we have that attitude that, everybody should serve me, everybody should bow down to me. It's very subtle. We see that. And that is very dangerous. So that is like the representation is Saktasur, pride. Trinavrata. That is basically bogus philosophies and mundane scholarship. Because even if we are speaking Krishna Katha, but if it does not culminate into pure bhakti, so it's shrama eva hi kevalam. It is a waste of time. Because there are many, many Smartha Brahmins and many, many Mayavadis and many, many other scholarly personalities who have studied the Vedas thoroughly. Well, what does Lord Brahma say in the Brahma Samhita? Vedesha durlabham adurlabham atma bhakto govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. In another place also in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says that Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. So out of pure love, we can obtain Yam Shama Sundaram Achinta Guna Tattve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The beautiful form of Sham Sundar, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, in Golok Vrindavan can be obtained. So like this, there are many, many examples that our Guru, Sadhu and Shastras give us. Then he also delivered Nalakuvera and Managriva, the sons of Kuver, that they represent arrogant pride. These are all the different representations in the Balya Leela of Krishna. And we all find all of these qualities in us. At least I know I have them in me. And I'm seeking the blessings of all that, they can be eradicated slowly but surely. Then he also, in the Balya Leela, he killed Vatsasur, the calf demon. So that is basically a childish mentality. It is a sort of a greed, a wicked mischief. So we also have that childish mentality. We do not take our Krishna consciousness very seriously sometimes. And we have also greed, mundane greed, not spiritual. Spiritual greed is perfect. Rupa Goswami says that what is the price of pure bhakti? Eka mulyam lolyam. Lolyam means greed. So even in the Mangalarti, we sing that. I believe that's the 5th verse. Sri Radhika Madhavyo Rapara Madhurya Leela Guna Rupa Nam Nam Prati Shanaswa Dana Lolupasya. Lolupasya means with great greed. Our Gaudiya Acharyas, the Sadgurus, they are always they are always involved in either speaking the unlimited pastimes of Radha Krishna, Sri Radhika Madhavya Apar, unlimited, Madhurya Leela Guna Rupa Nam Nam, and especially being Gaudiya Acharya, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions, it's the Madhurya Leela out of the 5 different rasas: Shant Ras, neutrality, Dasya Ras, servitorship, Sakhya Ras, friendship, Vatsalya Ras, parental love, and Madhurya Ras, the conjugal love. So they are so much deep into that service in the conjugal love, when they are constantly with great greed, Sri Rupa, the form of Krishna, Nam Nam, the holy names and the Leelas, they are narrating. But Vatsasur, the calf demon, represents the greed and the wicked mischief. So we have to examine ourselves, and we can see that how many demons are there within us, and we can ask Krishna to kill them. Bakasur, the one that came as a stork, that's cunning, duplicity, deceptiveness, or false behavior. So how many of us fall in that category sometimes, if we examine? We like to dress up like wonderful Vaishnavas, and we have the bead bag in our neck, but sometimes we have this duplicity that is also known as Kutaniti. In the different anarthas that are explained by the Shastra, one of the anartha is known as Hriday Durbalyam, a weakness of the heart. And in the weakness of the heart, there are 3 categories. One is Kutaniti. Kutaniti means duplicity, cunning duplicity, deceptiveness, and false behavior. And then he also killed Agasur, the snake demon. So Agasur represents cruelty and violence. So Thakur Bhakti, we know, there's a wonderful song in the Dainya, in the very, very humble mood. In Sharanagati, he mentions Amara Jivana Sada Papi Ratha Nahika Punyara Lesha Parera Udvega Diyachi Je Koto Diyachi Jivera Klesha. He takes such a humble stance. He says, my life is full of sins. Amara Jivan Sada Papi Ratha Nahika Punyara Lesha. There is not one iota of any piety. Parera Udvega Diyachi Je Koto Diyachi Jivera Klesha. And I've always given trouble to and miseries to others. So, like this, he's examining himself, but he's a Mahabhagavad that is basically applying to all of us. So, like this, Agasur has got so much cruelty and violence. Bhaktivinoda Thakur further says that Asesha Kamna Ridhi Maje Mora, there are so many material desires within my heart that I do not even I adopt cruel means to obtain those. So, like this, we see that, Bakasur, the stork demon, then Agasur, the snake demon, who represents cruelty and violence. Then the Brahma Vimohan Leela, where in the Brahma Vimohan Leela there is what it applies to represents the speculative scholarship or mundane mentality. So Lord Brahma, as you all know, doubted Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he put him to test. So that's what we also do many times. We want to test Krishna. We want to test Guru, who is the pure representative of Krishna. We want to test Vaishnavas. This is the attitude of Lord Brahma when he was bewildered. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Suraya. Srimad Bhagavatam says that even the greatest of the demigods are put into illusion. And Krishna removes them, of course. Then Dhenakasura, that was also in his Balya Leela when Krishna and Balram, they killed, well, actually Balram killed the donkey demon. That represents the gross materialistic intelligence and avidya. Avidya means knee science. And also it represents a lot of envy. Like that, he was, envious of them, and that's why he used to drive everybody away. And then the Kaliya serpent, chastising Krishna, chastised the Kaliya serpent. Why? Because he represented brutality and treachery. So, like this, we find that, Krishna is so kind that those representations are there in the form of these different demons. In the Damodara Ashtakam, we find that the sweet pastimes of Krishna, Satyavrat Muni, I believe he mentions that in the Idriksa Leela Vir Ananda Kunde Swagosha Nimanjantam Akhyapayantam Tadi Eshid Agneshur Bhaktari Jitatvam Puna Premastam Shat Avrati Vande. So like this, Krishna in Gokul, he drowns all the inhabitants in Gokul, in a pool of ecstasy. Swagosha Nimanjantam. Swagosh meaning his own town, his own devotees. That's what Swagosh means. And Nimanjantam means to immerse in such a way. So different pastimes. But of course, these pastimes that are killing of the demons are more or less of a philosophical nature. And actually, it is Lord Baldev who kills them, or Vasudev Krishna, who has merged into Krishna at the time of Janmashtami night. Of course, I don't have time to go into those details because I need to cover up at least some sweet pastimes of Balya Leela in this. Vasudev, when he brought Vasudev Krishna from the jail from Mathura, when he went to Gokul at night, due to the influence of Yogamaya, Mother Yashoda also went into a deep slumber. And Vasudev only saw one baby girl. But at the same time, our Gaudiya Acharyas explained in the Harivamsha, Vishwanath Chakravarti, in Rup Goswami, and Srila Prabhupada also, in some of his purports, he has specifically mentioned that Mother Yashoda gave birth to two. One, Nandanandan Krishna, Yashodanandan Krishna, and also the baby girl, Yogamaya, also known as Mahamaya in this material world. But Vasudeva Krishna could only see that little baby girl and he exchanged. And then what happened? When Vasudevji left, the Vasudeva Krishna merged into Nandanandan Krishna. And when in the morning, when Yashoda Mai woke up and the Vrajvasis, the Gokulvasis, they came, they thought that Mother Yashoda actually could not even remember. Prabhupada remarks in his purports in Krishna book as well, that Mother Yashoda, due to her slumber, her maternity slumber, which is obviously Yogamaya's special characteristic, that she put her into that kind of a slumber, she could not remember whether she gave birth to a boy or a girl. So it is whenever there are demons, then it is Vasudeva Krishna who actually kills them in Vraj. Because Krishna, Nandanandan, is the sweetest. He doesn't actually enact any pastimes that is beyond his inner sweetness. That is Nandanandan Krishna. So one such pastime that I would like to really briefly, actually, it's going to be a huge challenge for me. And one of my most favorite pastimes is the Damodar Leela. I have, for those interested, in Kartik, I've done many sessions every year on Damodar Leela, and sometimes they last 2 months. Once, about 8 sessions. So um, 4 sessions a week, and some of them have lasted 2 hours. On each sloka of the Damodarastakam, it has got so much nectar. And that is one of the reasons why our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas love the Damodarastakam. There is a reason behind it. There's a secret behind it. And Sanatana Goswami actually and Jiva Goswami reveal this. Sanatana Goswami reveals all these secrets in the Digdarshini. And this is found in a section of the Hari Bhakti Vilas. And Jiva Goswami has written the wonderful treatise known as Gopal Champu. And Gopal Champu, chapter number 8, he mentions about the Dham Bandhan Leela, the sweet pastimes of Krishna. So it is Diwali day, and Mother Yashoda has actually sent all the dasis away to the elder brother of Nanda Maharaj, to Sri Upananda's house. And all the brothers of Nanda Maharaj, they're assembled there. And because Upananda is under his guidance, they celebrate the Diwali celebration. So all the servants were sent, including Rohini Mata and Baldev, the little Baldev. Krishna is approximately 2.5 years old, just started walking. And at that time, Mother Yashoda is alone. She's Nandarani. She's got so many maidservants, but all of them have been asked to go. And if we recollect, actually the Govardhan Puja or the Govardhan Puja or the Annakut or the offering to Govardhan started when Krishna just crossed 7 years old. But prior to that, it was Indra Puja. And of course, there was Dipavali, because Dipavali happened in due to the honor of Lord Ramachandra, which was in Treta Yuga, and it is a repetitive festival. So Mother Yashoda, actually Jiva Goswami describes that Krishna is sleeping in a great deep slumber, and she wakes up early in the morning. And the previous night she was thinking that, I'm getting so many complaints. The moment this little boy, my sweet darling, has started walking along with Balram and so many other little Gwalbals, the little boys in Raj, they are going into different households, and they're breaking pots and stealing butter and yogurt and ransacking the kitchens of many gopis. And they come to me and complain, "Hey Yashoda, Ari Yashoda, Suno Ashoda, look what your Lala did today." And Yashoda Mata would simply brush it off, saying that, "Why would my Lala do this? We are Vaishyas, we are cow protectors, we have so much makhan and dadi, yogurt and milk products. Why would my darling Lala come to your house and steal?" And she would brush it off. Of course, there's a deeper reason for that, is that because Mother Yashoda would be filled in on Krishna's sweet pastimes. In the excuse of complaining, the gopis used to come, and they really loved it when Krishna. As a matter of fact, gopis would just wait for Krishna. If he did not show up with his friends or sometimes by himself, there was when is he going to come? When is he going to come? When is he going to steal my butter? I've already made 4 pots and I've left them in the kitchen, and I really hope he comes today. And that is the deep enthusiasm and the cry of the gopis. And that is why Krishna used to go to their houses and steal butter. It is not that Krishna is Atmaram, he's fully satisfied. Even when we offer him opulent bhoga, actually he's not in necessity of that. But when we offer it with a love, Putram Pashvam Phalam Toyam, Jome Bhaktya Pranashuti, with great love, and we offer it with tulsi leaf on it, then Krishna, he takes our bhav, and then he accepts that bhoga. Angani asya sakalen indriyavritti manti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti. So basically, he accepts it even with his glance, because the different parts of Krishna's bodies are non-different from all of them. They can interchange. Like, we can only see with the eyes, or we can only hear with the ears, and we can only smell with the nose, and we can only eat or speak with the mouth. But Krishna's Indriyas, or Krishna's senses, can interchange. Angani yasya sakalen indriya vritti manti. So he's so kind that just by simply glancing, he accepts our bhoga that has been offered, and then he leaves the rest for us for prasadam, for our well-being, our spiritual well-being. So similarly, that is what Krishna's stealing has got a transcendental connotation to it. It's transcendental. It's very sweet. Sri Vallabhacharya writes in one of his beautiful poems that I think most of you all may have heard, Adaram maduram vadanam maduram maduradi pate rakilam maduram. Everything about Krishna, his lips are very sweet, his eyes are very sweet, his smile is very sweet. His playing the flute is very maduradi pate rakilam maduram. His even stealing is sweet, his even kidnapping is sweet. Everything about Sri Krishna is sweet. So we are very fortunate, that we can get this understanding. Mayavadis and other worshippers of the different demigods, they will never understand. And they will consider, they will put some kind of a stamp on Krishna that he is some antisocial personality. But we have to understand that even Krishna himself has said in the Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti mama muda manusha tanu ashritam. People think that I'm some ordinary, those who are fools, I'm an ordinary personality. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma che me divyam, jo veti tatva punarjanmaneti mameti so Arjuna. So my activities, my appearance, they are transcendental in nature. And just by simply understanding that, if we have full faith 100%, well, he guarantees Arjuna that tatva punarjanmaneti mameti so Arjuna. They will never, those living entities will never, those personalities, those souls will never take birth in this material world. So that is a question of faith. And why do we chant? Why do we hear Srimad Bhagavatam? Why do we attend the morning program? Why do we attend Artiks, etc.? Why do we associate with devotees? Why do we actually, Mahaprabhu had recommended all these things. Why do we go to the Dham? Why do we do Archa Vigraha? Even in our own homes, we have temples. That is, all this is to enhance our strong faith and enhance our chanting. Because chanting is Krishna. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Vigraha Nitya Shuddha Mukto Namna Namino Abhinna. So the holy names is Sakshat Sri Krishna. This is very difficult to understand that. The moment we really chant the holy name with so much love and say, Krishna, I'm associating with you. Before we start chanting or during our chanting, we think like that. You are so kind. We are associating with you and your Nam Agari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. Nija means your own associates of Vraja. So when we chant with that bhavana or with that sentiment, then our chanting is beautiful. And then all these leelas are revealed to us. We may have heard it, and at that time when we chant, that's what the Goswamis of Vrindavan, they used to chant the holy names, but then constantly the leelas they were envisioning them. And Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So chanting is the key. If that will culminate, all these activities is for good chanting. And good chanting means we are immersing ourselves in Tava Katha Amritam, in the pastimes of Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna, like that, he went all over Raj and he did this. And he actually, Mother Yashoda was thinking the previous night that, they're complaining. And, now, it's basically, Jiva Goswami says that basically that maybe because, I'm personally not making any makhan or yogurt for my Lala, my little boy. She's Nandarani. She's got so many dasis. So today the dasis are not there. So that previous night, she had milked some of the most sweetest Surbi cows. Nanda Maharaj had many goshalas with thousands and thousands of cows, hundreds of thousands of cows. But there was a special goshala within Nanda Bhavan. And there, Mother Yashoda personally milks those cows and she sets that sweet milk that she had milked from her own hands to coagulate the previous night. And when she wakes up early in the morning on Diwali day, Jiva Goswami describes the beauty of Krishna when he's sleeping and she needs to leave the bedside. And she actually pats Krishna. She actually touches his beautiful blue lotus-like eyes. And she says, my dear Lala, you are the Nandakula Shiromani. You are the bright star, the jewel of Nanda Maharaj's this dynasty. So you grow well. And she was like that. Tears of ecstasy of Vatsalya Ras were flowing from Mother Yashoda's eyes, and she was caressing Krishna's forehead, just looking at her 2.5-year-old Lala. And then she said, Lala, very softly, I'm leaving now. I have to take a bath. And then I'm going to be making some very special makhan, some very special cream for you. today with my own hands. So your Mai has to go. So slowly she tucks him and kisses him on his forehead, and she leaves to take a bath. Mother Yashoda is so beautifully dressed up after taking a shower and taking a bath. And then she is decked up in so many different jewelry, and silk saris. On Diwali Day, we know all how the Vedic system is. Everybody wears new clothes, etc. And Mother Yashoda was very opulent. She looks so beautiful. And therefore, Jiva Goswami describes that actually Mother Yashoda is so beautiful that actually her beauty is where Krishna got his beauty. Mother Yashoda is also Sauli, by the way. Sauli means darkish in color, in complexion. So therefore, Krishna is also darkest. These are the commentaries of Jiva Goswami. Mother Yashoda goes into the kitchen and starts putting that churning rod into the sweet, coagulated, beautiful yogurt pot, huge pot, and she starts singing his glories again. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, different songs up to the 2.5 years old Krishna, that how Putna came and she tried to take you away from me, and she tried to kill you by applying poison on her breast. But by the mercy of Vishnu, you are saved. So this is another point. Jiva Goswami actually has the shlokas in Sanskrit. She actually uses the word Vishnu, Parameshwar. She talks about Shaktasur. She sings those pastimes of Krishna. She is in the full mode of Kirtanam. And when she sings those pastimes of Krishna, she's thinking you are saved by Trinavrata, by the mercy of Parameshwar, by the mercy of Paramatma, you are saved. She uses all these words. So we find that the Vrajvasis, actually, they worship Lord Narayana, Lord Vishnu, and not knowing that Krishna Nandan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is the beauty of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. Many different bona fide Vaishnava religions, they are aware of Krishna's opulence and his awe and reverence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in Vrindavan, in Vrajbhumi, Krishna has given a blank check to Yogamaya. And Maya makes us forget, right? Maya means what is not, illusion, right? So the Mahamaya in this material world makes us forget about Krishna. And we are simply indulging in all materialistic activities, forgetting God. That gives us this atheistic propensity. And Yogamaya also makes us forget Krishna. The Vrajvasis forget Krishna, but how? Forgets Krishna in particularly that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the difference. So when we are perfect in our sadhana bhakti, when we chant the holy names properly, wake up early in the morning and read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, associate with the devotees, etc., all the rules and recommendations as sadhana bhakti, they have to be followed perfectly. And then what happens? By the mercy of His Divine Grace Prabhupada and our Gaudiya Acharyas, something amazing happens. We will be given entrance into Raganuga Bhakti. Rag means deep attachment, and Anuga means to follow. So who has got the deepest attachment? The Vrajvasis. So following in the footsteps of Vrajvasis, we will actually enter into Raganuga Bhakti, or also known as Raga Atmika Bhakti. But unless and until we have our foundation of our sadhana bhakti perfect, we cannot enter Raganuga Bhakti. Every day we sing in the Guru Puja. What do we sing? We sing that Chakshudana Dilojai Janme Janme Prabhu Sai Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. That our Acharyas, and Narottam Das Thakur has composed this Guru Puja, where he is actually applying this to all the Vaishnava Acharyas. So we can apply it to Srila Prabhupada, we can apply this to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and the entire Guru Parampara. Hare Krishna, Rasoham Apso Kaunteya. Krishna says, I am the taste in the water. Forgive me. So, what basically Chakshudana Dilojai, Srila Prabhupada and our Gaudiya Acharyas would be so pleased with our sadhana bhakti that they will open up the doors of Raganuga Bhakti. They will open up the doors and we will get those furtis within us from Ado Shraddha, faith, Tatha Sadho Sang, associating with the devotees. Bhajana Kriya, the devotees tell us the do's and don'ts of bhajan. What else? What should we do with our bhajans? chant the holy names, follow the 4 regulatory principles, no eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. So that is a part of bhajan kriya. Read the shastras, etc. And then after that, there is anartha nivriti. All that within our hearts has been accumulated since time immemorial will disappear. So we can examine ourselves that where have we reached so far. Anartha nivriti is also a great stage. And then our real Raganuga Bhakti taste will come when there will be, we will have nishtha, we will have firm faith, we will have the ruchi, real taste. Firm faith means, we will not be, we will not waver, not even for a second. And ruchi, real taste. Right now we have to force ourselves to come to Mangalarti. We have sometimes force ourselves to complete our 16 good rounds. Prabhupada said not 16 rounds, but 16 good rounds. We have a hard time doing that. So, etc. So then when that ruchi comes, we can't wait to get up for Mangalarti. We can't wait to chant those rounds, and we can't wait to not stop chanting those rounds. That's the feeling sometimes. We do get those furtis. We do get those little inclinations that are there within the heart. Sometimes Krishna gives us that taste. From that, we move on and we further graduate into asakti. Asakti means deep attachment. So much attachment to Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Then the next stage is the bhav stage, when chakshudana dilo jai janme janme prabhu say divya gyan hriday prakasha. That divya gyan is what? That time Srila Prabhupada and the acharyas will reveal us our position in our constitutional position in Golok Vrindavan, in the spiritual world. What is our Ekadash Bhav, the 11 different symptoms where we can, when we go back to Godhead, then at that time what our services, which camp we are in, under which gopi, what our tilak is in particular, what our dress is, all these things, what our services, who are we going to serve? So all this is revealed in the bhav stage. And from bhav, when we have obtained bhav stage, we're sitting here, we can meditate on our seva and all these things. But that's a very high stage. Only thing we can do is sincerely desire that we reach all these cross all these different stages to reach. And then the final stage is Krishna Prema. And within Krishna Prema also there are many delineations. There is Snigdha Prem, Madhu Prem, there is Raman Prem, there is Bhava Prem, Anubhav, and Mahabhav. And even within Mahabhav, the exclusive Prema that Srimati Radharani has that nobody else can attain is the Madanakya and the Mohanakya Prema for Krishna. So these are different gradations even in Prema. Most of us, when we ask for blessings from Vaishnava and we say, Prabhu or Mataji, please bless me so that I can get Krishna Prema. But Krishna Prema is of lot of varieties. So as we are in the Gaudiya line, we have to understand what our goal is. Our goal is Radha Dasyan. If Radharani is pleased, then Krishna is pleased. And if Krishna is pleased, Radharani is pleased. This is such an amazing combination. So like this, Krishna, when Mother Yashoda is describing the different pastimes of Krishna till 2.5 years, and she is in ecstasy, and while she is actually churning the rod, the different Vaishnavas join her. Now, who are those Vaishnavas? It's her bangles, it's her ankle bells, and the rope and the churning rod is like a mridanga. Dik, 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 tan, ching, 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 when she is singing. So we have to remember that in Golok Vrindavan, or even in the spiritual world of Vaikunthas, everything is Ananda Chinmaya. Everything is full of consciousness. Everything. So even the flute or the different paraphernalia that appear to be inanimate in this material world, they are actually full of consciousness. What is that verse in the Brahma Samhita? That verse is Shri Akantaha Kantaha Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Drumi Bruma Drumis Bhuma Chinta Manis Shri Akantaha Kantaha Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Drumi Bhumi Chinta Mani I think I'm forgetting the verse, but in that verse that comes Chidananda, everybody is full of a consciousness, every entity. So they join in Sankirtan. And what happens when there is Sankirtan? When there's Sankirtan, Krishna wakes up, Jiva Goswami describes that he is little short. He cannot put his legs on the ground. And at that time, he catches hold of the chadar, the blanket, and he slowly puts one toe down on the floor firmly. And then he's able to put the rest of his feet on the ground. And then he is actually crying because he cannot find his Maya. That is the symptoms. Krishna is just an ordinary boy under the influence of Yog Maya. Maya, Maya, he cries, and Maya is nowhere. The room is dark, and he finally makes it to the kitchen, because what attracts Sri Krishna? Attracts Sankirtan. The best way to attract Krishna is Sankirtan. Mother Yashoda is performing Sankirtan. She is actually glorifying Krishna. Samyak Kirtan iti Sankirtan. Samyak means full Kirtan, called glorifying Nandan. Nandan, Yashoda, Nandan is Sankirtan. So she was narrating the pastimes and the other different, her bangles, her ankle bells, the churning rod, they act like the Sankirtan party who actually enhance Mother Yashoda's Kirtan. And when Krishna is attracted, he actually makes his way, because his eyes are covered with tears, he cannot see so clear, but he goes with the sound, vibration of her mother, and he makes it to the kitchen. He walks like a little elephant, as if he's a drunken little baby elephant, and he finally reaches, because the room is dark still. Sometimes we have to go to the bathroom at night. We also try to, walk like that. We try to get support of the table or the chair or the wall, and that's how we make it to the bathroom in pitch darkness. So similarly, Krishna makes it by simply the sound vibration, and that is the reason our acharyas and Srila Prabhupada said, please chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Chanting the Mahamantra is the most important thing. Sankirtan attracts Sri Krishna. Sankirtan attracted Bal Krishna, and when he went there, Mother Yashoda was so absorbed in the Sankirtan that she did not even notice that Krishna himself has arrived there. And then he started crying even more, and even she was so absorbed, just like when we are very sincerely absorbed in Hari Kirtan, Hari Katha, or chanting, if the phone rings or there's lightning outside or any kinds of noise, we are oblivious to it. We go into some kind of a transcendental samadhi. And that is what the effect of Sankirtan on Mother Yashoda was, that she went into a transcendental samadhi. And finally, Krishna comes close to her, and he pulls her veil. And Mother Yashoda immediately sees him and picks him and puts her there. Oh, my Lala, you woke up. Come, bacha, come. And she sits him down in the kitchen and starts feeding him with her breast milk. And Mother Yashoda is like, Jiva Goswami describes, like an ocean of milk. Ocean of milk, non-stop. Krishna is enjoying and relishing the milk as if it is Shirodaksai, the Shir Sagar. And Mother Yashoda had actually put some milk in the kitchen on the stove, and suddenly that milk boiled over, and Mother Yashoda put Krishna down for a second and says, you watch that pot, oh Krishna, you watch that pot, and I'll be right back. And she rushed towards the milk, and she took some cold water and sprinkled on the milk. And then there's a conversation between Mother Yashoda and the milk. The milk is a Vaishnava. Milk is a Vaishnava. And Mother says, milk? Doodh? What's wrong with you? Why are you trying to commit suicide by falling into the fire? So, Maya, don't even ask me. I want to commit suicide. I said, why? Why? Maya says, because, Ma, I have seen that your Lala has been really relishing your milk, and he has got unlimited appetite, and you have unlimited supply of milk. So what is the use of me? That is what a Vaishnava thinks, that if we are not able to do sufficient seva, then our life is useless. When we cannot find the association of devotees, our life is useless. That bhajan that we sing on the disappearance day of Acharyas by Srila Narottam Das Thakur, he's saying that Pashane kutibo mata anale pashibo. I would like to enter fire, give up my life into blazing fire. Anale pashibo. Pashane kutibo mata. I would like to break my head on a piece of stone, and I would like to enter. Why? Because I cannot find the association of these. Se sangana paye kande Narottam Das. Because I cannot find the association. So if we can't find the association of good devotees, if we can't find seva, then our life is really worth nothing. Similarly, even Sanatana Goswami was thinking like that, and I will kill myself under the wheel of the Rath Yatra because I'm useless. I cannot serve Mahaprabhu. And so like this, there are so many instances where the devotees feel like that. So the milk is feeling that. Mother Yashoda, like a guru, Jiva Goswami and Sanatana Goswami comment that like a guru, what does a guru or a senior Vaishnava do? They pacify the other Vaishnavas. They guide them. No, 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 no. That's not true. I will be engaging you in Krishna's service. I cannot make sandesh or rasgullas or all those sweets from my chest milk. I will engage you. My Lala loves different misthan, different sweets, and all this, you will be the base of it. So then the milk was satisfied. So like this, time is short. This would take a lot of sessions. Krishna, and then when Mother Yashoda was talking to the milk, Krishna seeing the pot, he started crying. He says, what is more important, me or that milk? So this was again a display of ordinary child. Yogamaya has thoroughly covered Krishna, covering his opulence, that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He cried like a baby, and then suddenly seeing that pot that his mother had pointed to, and he saw a little stone that they grind chutney on, a pestle, and then immediately stopped crying. Just like a child, when he's very mischievous, he cries, and then suddenly when he gets some good, bright idea of mischief, he stops crying, and then he starts smiling. And then he picks up that little piece of chutney grinding stone and knocks with a lot of expertise. He knocks at the bottom of that sweet, huge yogurt pot that Mother Yashoda had kept for the Diwali celebrations. And out oozed a stream of Khir Sagar, or the ocean of milk, as if the entire kitchen in that section was permeated with that ocean of the half-made yogurt, and it was still under the process of being made. So there was a stream, and Krishna was so expert that he hit it on such a spot that when you have a full vessel and if you have a hole in the bottom, then it's going to flow even more. That was his mischief. And when that happened, he started giggling. But in the moment, Mother Yashoda was going to turn around. He knew that suddenly. And then he immediately tiptoed into the next room, which is the storeroom. When he tiptoed into the storeroom, he left beautiful little footprints, white footprints. And when Mother Yashoda finally turned around, she was aghast. What? Now I believe the gopis, that he does ransack the kitchens and he makes some mess. He's done it. And today on Diwali day, when I have so much work, I promised that I would be making so many different items on this Diwali day for Indra Yajna. I would be doing that. And here I am, I have to clean up this mess. And then she was angry. And when she saw the little white footprints, she started giggling. Look at my Lala. He's so innocent. He's so innocent that he left those footprints, and that's exactly where he went. He left a telltale. He left a sign where he went. And then he went and she followed those footprints, and Krishna had actually taken in that storeroom overturned grinding mortar, which is extremely heavy. So at the moment, a Yogamaya removes, and that Satchidananda feature of the opulence with all the strength that one of the features of Bhagavan is, out of the 6 opulences or the bhagas, is strength. So he overturns that ukkal. We have seen ukkals in our childhood. Ladies used to come and in our neighborhood, and they used to grind masalas, the fresh ground from the sabut, and they're very heavy. 6 of them used to carry one. So that's a very heavy, and Krishna at that time, Yogamaya, to enhance the Leela for a fraction of a second, takes out that spell. And then he, through his strength and opulence, he's able to overturn that motor, and he climbs on top, and Yogamaya again covers it. Now, Mother Yashoda went there, and suddenly, peeking behind the door, she sees what's happening. Krishna is not only taking all the makan from the rafters that were hung there, but he starts, it's just about to dawn. The first Sandhya is about to happen. The Trikal Sandhya. When we chant the Brahman Gayatri, there are 3 Sandhyas, 3 confluences. The first Sandhya is when the night turns to day. So when the sun is just about to rise. The second Sandhya is when the morning becomes afternoon, so around 12:30. And the third Sandhya, the third Sandhya is the one at the time when the rest of the day, almost now it's dusk time. So that's why we chant the Gayatri. And also in the Guruvastakam, Mangalarti, we say, Dhayan Stuvam Yashastri Sandhyam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. Because those who are Brahmanically initiated, we have 2 Guru Gayatris that we chant. So we always remember our Guru Varga. We always meditate on them for the true intelligence in pure bhakti. So it is just about to become morning. And at that time, suddenly the monkeys and the crows start coming to that window. That little storeroom had a window, and they put their hands in, the monkeys, and Krishna starts giving them makhan. And the crows also. Now, in Raj, we find there are many, many birds. In Raj, we find there are many, many animals. But in particular, in this particular Leela, it's just the crows and the monkeys. So there's a good reason. Krishna is personally feeding the monkeys and the crows. So our acharyas explained that he wanted to give them, so show his gratitude. As Lord Ramachandra, they were the monkey's army, the monkey Sena, the Vanar Seva. They are so austere that they lived on roots and fruits and fallen leaves, and they helped Lord Ramachandra build the bridge across Sri Lanka. They helped him in the war against Ravana. And they were very austere. They hardly got any really good. And Makhan is considered the best of the best of the best of the best foods. So Krishna says, let me reciprocate. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tamsa tathaiva bhajamiham, as he declares in the Bhagavad Gita. So he starts feeding the best of the best Vraj Makhan, and that too, the one that Mother Yashoda had milked the cows herself from the best Surbi cows. So, and then why the crows? So the crows were, because it is said that the crow, Kakbhushan, one of the wonderful personalities in Ramayana, the crows generally get all the refuse or the garbage that they eat. Whenever it is rejected by the society, the crows conglomerate there and they eat those refuse and the garbage. So they do not get any good food. But Kakbhushan ji, the descendants of them were these crows, and he remembers Krishna or never forgets any kind of devotional service that is done. So he actually narrated the Ramayana, and he's eternally narrating the Ramayana in Kailash. And Lord Shiva likes to hear Kakbhushan ji. So showing such gratitude, Krishna. But then suddenly the monkeys and the crows, they do not come forward, and they kind of go into a reverse gear. And Krishna sees the fear in their eyes. And then Krishna says, come, there's more, take more. Krishna has made a mess of his clothes. Krishna has made a mess of his mouth. Krishna has made a mess everywhere, and he's still inviting the monkeys, come forward, come forward. But none of them come. And when Krishna just saw or felt that there's something behind me, and he turned around, and the door was slightly open that he had carefully latched. He was open, and Mother Yashoda was there with a stick. And that is the reason that fear was there in the monkeys and the crows. And again, that fear was instilled in Krishna. Namami Ishwaram Satchidananda Rupam Lasata Kundalam Gokule Vrajamanam Yashoda Bhiyulukhala Dhavamanam Paramastam Atyanta Tato Drupya. Mother Yashoda catches Krishna. Krishna jumps from that motor, and Mother Yashoda chases him. Actually, before chasing him, Mother Yashoda looks left and right. It's only morning. And she is a chaste wife. And in Raj, even today, if you go to Raj, all the ladies wear a veil when they come out in public. Only in their homes, they don't have the veil, the gungat. And she was thinking, if I go out, there will be the elders already on the streets of Gokul. If they see me, it was not nice. So, and if I put my gungat, my veil, I won't be able to see Krishna properly where he went. But she was determined. She was determined to catch Krishna, so she did not care at that point, even at the expense of her so-called dignity at stake. She went and rushed behind Krishna, and Krishna kept running. But our acharyas explained, the moment he looked behind, that's when he was caught. Until he did not look behind, he could not. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nobody can catch him. Surdas tried to catch him when one day Krishna came in Braj. And when he was singing, Surdas was blind. And then when he was singing the bhajan, it was late at night, and he had to go back to Surbikunj. That's where his eternal residence is, in Govardhan. but there was nobody. And Krishna came in the form of a little Vraj boy and says, Baba, you're out there late. Let me take you home. But Surdas recognized, although blind, that this is Krishna. And Surdas had a cane. And Krishna caught his cane, Baba, I'll lead you. And then slowly Surdas tried to move his hands forward so that he could catch Krishna. But the moment he tried to do that and he reached within a millimeter of Krishna's hand, Krishna disappeared. So it is not difficult. It is very difficult to catch Krishna. But Paramastam Atyanta Taddu, out of love, Mother Yashoda was able to catch Krishna. I will take another 5 minutes if it's okay with this, and because I cannot tell you the whole Leela, but at least some important parts of his sweetness. So I would like to get permission from the devotees who have assembled here. Mother Yashoda actually catches Krishna from the back. And along the way, by the way, Jiva Goswami describes that Mother Yashoda has beautiful flowers in her braid, Ketki flowers in particular. So they fall down while she's running. Mother Yashoda is pretty hefty. And when she's moving, her movements are pretty heavy. So the Ketki, Mother Yashoda stops for the Ketki flowers. Again, you have to remember that they are Vaishnavas. So the Ketki flowers start talking to Mother Yashoda. Maya, go, catch that rascal. He's right there, in the courtyard, in that particular area of the corridor. Don't worry about us. You're determined to catch Krishna, and it is for his own good. And Mother Yashoda is ultimately successful in catching Krishna. When Mother Yashoda catches Krishna, he says, Krishna, what is all this? All these gopis were complaining. They were saying that you're coming there, you're stealing, not only stealing, but you're ransacking the house. And now today I saw it with my own eyes that you've done that. How did all this makhan come on your cheeks and on your lips and around your face? So Maya, you're so innocent. And he's saying this all in Totli Bhasha. Totli means when a kid, when he speaks, he cannot pronounce everything correctly. So he's mentioning, Maya, you're so innocent. You remember you went to pacify that milk that was on the stove, and you told me to watch that matki, that pot. So I was just being a good son, and I was being very diligent. But you know what happened? The monkey came inside, and he tried to grab that makhan or that half-churned yogurt and tried to eat it, and I stopped him. And because I stopped him, he slapped he slapped me. Not only slapped me, but he applied everything on my face and on my clothes. So Mother Yashoda said, really, Lala? Really? Is that what happened? Huh? So, yeah, Maya, I'm telling you the truth. So now you are also at this age, you are becoming a liar. It's not good for you. It's not good for you. I'm your mother, and I must correct you because out of love, Mother Yashoda, just like our parents when we were younger, sometimes they used to chastise us. Sometimes they used to even slap us. Nowadays, it's hard, especially in America, you can't do that. Otherwise, even the kids know to call 911. But that is for the good of when the Guru chastises, it should be taken in the right spirit. That is a blessing. In other words, whether chastisement or even if it is praise, it is nothing but pure blessings of parents or gurus when they do that, because they mean only well, nothing but love. So it is so important to understand this concept. So then he says, no. You're not only stealing, you have become like Kafalak. Kafalak was one big thief in Vraj. So you are becoming like Kafalak. These names are given by Jiva Goswami. And I cannot let that happen. And you are lying. So he said, no, Maya, I'm not lying and I'm not Kafalak. And prior to that, already, because seeing the stick, we know that the other shlokas of Damodarashtakam, Rudantam Murnetra Yugmam Mrijantam Karamboja Yugmena Satanka Netram Muhusasha Kampat Rirekhanka Kanta Stita Graiva Damodar Bhakti Vaddam. So Krishna is bound by his mother's love. So he was caught. He was bound. That is the first binding. Binding doesn't necessarily mean that actual physical binding. When they say, in normal sentences, I'm bound by my word, or he's bound by my love. So bound means controlled. That's what it means. When our acharyas say that when our love exceeds Krishna's love for us, then we are able to bind Krishna. Krishna, everybody knows him as Bhakta Vatsala, right? The Vaikuntha Adipati, Lord Ramachandra or Lord Narayanas, etc., or any forms, and even Krishna himself in Dwarka and in Mathura, most devotees pray to him as Bhakta Vatsala. but there is a wonderful terminology known as Bhakta Vashya. So when our love exceeds the love of Krishna, just like the mother Yashoda's love exceeded more than Krishna's love, she was able to control Krishna. Bhakta Vashya. He became Bhakta Vashya. So he said, no, 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 no. I am not Kafalat, but I have heard that in your family, meaning your mother's side and your father's side, Yashoda Mai's side, there was a Gopa known as Chor Ghosh. There was a Gopa known as Chor Ghosh. That was his name. And that was it. Mother Yashoda's wrong buttons were pressed. I normally tell as a humorist, but it's a fact, that never try to get into the wrong side of your wife and the wife's family or something like that. When we actually get into a quarrel or something, and when we say something, your brother's like this, your father's like this, your mother's like this, that's it. You're waiting for a volcano to burst. So Mother Yashoda was very, very much upset. Said, what? In my family, Chor Ghosh, how dare you? And she said, come on. And she holds him and says, come on inside the storeroom and I'm going to punish you. She's so upset. And she actually tries to bind him to that same ukkal. So there's another nice connotation. Why does Krishna, why is he bound to the ukkal? See, Nanda Maharaj had a big bhavan, big mahal, a big palace. And it is said there is 84 khamba, 84 pillars. Even if we go to Gokul today, there are some remnants of the 84 pillars. Not only in Gokul, but also in Kamyovan, there is 84 khamba. The 84 in Hindi, or it means 84. Khamba means pillars. So can you imagine how big? Sometimes we see in our own homes, the basement has some supporting beams or pillars, probably 2 or 3. Even if it's a 3,000 square foot or a 5,000 square foot home, perhaps 5 or 6. So can you imagine 84 pillars supporting the palace, how big it is? So Mother Yashoda could have tied him on any of the pillars or any other. Why did she? She could have even tied him to the tree in the yard. There's a reason, and Rasikacharya is explained. Khal, ukkal, she says that Krishna, you are khal, you are a cheater. Khal means cheater. And you are ukkal, you have actually supported him in his cheating and his mischief. So I will punish both of you. That is why he was tied. With the attempt was made to tie Krishna to the ukkal. Both were being punished. Again, we have to remember, all the everything in Braj is all Vaishnavas, living entities. So there was no choice. Mother Yashoda, she tried to bind Krishna with her. First she tried, Jiva Goswami says, with a long ribbon that was in a braid. And then that did not work, 2 fingers short. And in the meantime, all the gopis come in the morning. They cannot live with her, Mother Yashoda. They come to greet her. And today is Diwali day, Indra Puja. She was going to seek some help from them in the kitchen. And then she tells them, look what my Lala has done. And, please bring some ropes. I'm 2 fingers short. And they go to the Goshala. They go into the kitchen and all the different places. And they bring ropes. They get exhausted, 2 fingers short. And all the gopis are giggling. And they're just watching the fun. And then they said, didn't I tell you that, Yashoda? One of the gopis and some of the gopis supporting, yeah, that he was naughty and he used to come in our house and ransack the kitchen. And now you saw it with your own eyes. Look at the mess. We have so much work to do. Now you have to do a cleanup. Can you imagine, like when we have a home program and let's say we're expecting 50, 60, 100 devotees, and suddenly, something happens in the kitchen, the dal spills or the cooker bursts and everything is strewn all over. And then if you have to clean up and then start all over again, you're thrown back by at least an hour and a half. And can you imagine the plight of the Matajis who are actually cooking for the pleasure of the devotees in the home program? And they see the time, it's only 1 hour left and I have to cook so many items still. So same way Mother Yashoda was feeling that pain and the gopis were just simply laughing. And Mother Yashoda wipes her perspiration off her forehead. And then she is simply glowing red because of becoming tired. And eventually, she tells in her mind, Krishna, why don't you get bound? With so much love, she says in her heart, I wish I have so much work to do. I hope you can just get bound and I can go my way. You need to be punished and I'm going to punish you and I'm determined. So Utsaha, Dhairya, Nischaya, Rup Goswami says that determination is so important. When we practice bhakti, Mother Yashoda was determined to run behind Krishna, and then she caught him. Mother Yashoda was determined to punish Krishna. Mother Yashoda was determined for his own good to tie him up, and until all the ropes expired, and there was no other choice. And then finally she said, please, Krishna, bind yourself. And then Krishna agreed to be bound by the love. He could not see his mother almost coming to the brink of crying. And he could feel her pain, that she had a lot of cleanup to do and so many items. So finally, he decided to get himself bound by the love of his the Sthita Graiva Damodar Bhakti Baddham. 2 fingers short represents what? So our acharyas explain that our own endeavor, if we just depend on our own endeavor, that is not sufficient. We need the kripa. We need the kripa of Krishna, and Krishna's kripa flows through Gurudev, through the acharyas. Sakshat haritvena samasta shastra uktas tatha bhavyata eva sadbi. Kinto prabhoya priyeva tasya vande guru Sri Charnarvinda. So Krishna's true representative is the Guru. And he is able to give everything that Krishna can, his Kripa Leela. Krishna's Kripa Leela is in the form of the Sri Vigraha, deities. Krishna's Kripa Leela is the form of Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna's Kripa Leela is in the form of the Acharyas, in the form of Sri Guru, or those Vaishnavas who care for us. So that is what was lacking at that time as a philosophical point, just to show the rest of the world that your endeavor is just not good enough unless and until I show mercy. So in South India, especially the Tamilian Iyengar and the Iyer Brahmins, they have 2 philosophies. One is known as the Markatnyay and the other one is known as the Manjarnyay. The Manjar is like a cat. Manjar is a cat. In the Manjarnyay, or the logic, the little kitten doesn't have to do anything. The mother cat picks up the kitten in the mouth, feeds the kitten, takes from point A to point B, and all places until the kitten grows up into a cat. So basically, one school of thought is that even if we don't do anything, Krishna's mercy is going to come on us. and the other nyay, or the other logic, is Markat Nyay. In Markat Nyay, the little baby monkey has to make an effort to hold on to the mother, cling on to the mother's chest or tummy or the back, while the mother is simply jumping from one tree to another tree and all other heights. You all have seen that in Vrindavan. It's amazing how they hold on tight. So that is Markat Nyay. So both of them have a certain limitation, but when both are combined, when the Markat Nyay, meaning our own endeavor, and the kripa of the mother, which is Krishna's kripa in the representation of the Manjar Nyay, when they're both there, then we can actually control Krishna, we can bind Krishna. So those who are just in Markat Nyay or in Manjar Nyay, they can get some bhakti that would be in opulence, meaning Vaikuntha. But if one needs pure bhakti and one needs entrance into Golok Vrindavan, which is the topmost realm, then we will need both. Markat Nyay, the monkey, the endeavor like a little baby monkey makes, and also the kripa. So ekaki amar nahi paye bal harinam sankirtane, tumi kripa kari shraddha bindu diya deho Krishna naam dhane, Krishna se tomar Krishna dite par tomar shakti ache, ami to kangal Krishna Krishna boli dhai tawa pache, Dayal Vaishnav Thakur, ohe Vaishnav Thakur dayar shagur e dashe karuna kari. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying fervently. This is what our prayer should be when we approach the Prabhupada, when we approach a Sadguru, a sincere Vaishnava. Krishna se tomar, Krishna is yours. Krishna dite par, you can give us Krishna. Ami to kangal, I'm simply bereft of any qualities. I'm a beggar. Ekaki amar nahi paye harinam sankirtan. I do not have strength on my own to chant the holy names or to perform bhakti. Ekaki amar nahi paye bal harinam sankirtane. Tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya deho Krishna naam dhane. You please give me, have mercy on me, bestow your kripa on me, so that I can obtain the true wealth of Krishna naam dhana. So I think I will stop here. This is a very long katha, where if I go into all the details based on Sanatana Goswami's explanations and Jiva Goswami, because the devotees have already been patient enough, but these are some of the sweet pastimes of Krishna that And there are so many, many more in Raj. Idrik Swalila Vir Ananda Kunde, Swagosha Nimanjantam Akhyapayantam. In this way, he drowned the residents of Gokul in a pool of ecstasy. And then Krishna himself is saying, actually, the Damodar Ashtakam is a subtle conversation between Satyavrat Muni and Krishna himself. Krishna being so pleased with Satyavrat Muni when he's eulogizing his form, his jewelry, his own mother, and now he's eulogizing in the third verse, the residents of Gokul. So then he's saying, what do you want, my dear Krishna? In the next verse, he's saying that. But prior to that, Krishna says that Tadi Yeshid Agneshur Bhaktarijittatvam. Please, oh residents of other quarters or devotees of all other different types of bhakti that you have, meaning is indicating those devotees who are worshipping him in awe and reverence, meaning Vaikuntha Bhav. Tadi Eshit Agneshu, those who have knowledge of my Ishita. Ishita means that I am the Lord and Master. I am the Supreme Lord. I am the Supreme Lord. That is Ishita. Tadi Eshit, one who has Agneshu, one who has that knowledge, then please learn from these Vrajvasis. Learn from Yashoda Mai. Tadi Eshit Agneshu Bhaktarijittatvam. I can only be bound with such pure love, such as my mother Yashoda and the love that has been displayed by the Vrajvasi. Tadi Eshit Agneshu Bhaktarijit Puna Premastam Shatavriti Vande. And I offer my obeisances hundreds and hundreds of times to that prema that has been displayed by the Vrajvasis. And in particular, the prema here in context of Yashoda Mai. So like this, there are so many wonderful pastimes that Krishna went in Vraj, ransacked the home. Sometimes he would go with the cowherd boys and say, Madhumangal, today we will ransack your home. Tell your Maiya that, that one of the calves has come out loose from the Goshala. And Madhumangal will go inside and tell the mother, and mother would go out to check the Goshala, and they would all go inside and they would ransack the kitchen and rob the kitchen with butter, milk, etc. One time, one gopi said that I'm going to determine to catch Krishna, just like Mother Yashoda was determined. She hid behind the door. And then when he put his hand in the yogurt, she caught him. Aha, Lala, I caught you. So what are you doing? And she started asking Krishna all this, but internally she was very happy. She said, you just called me Lala, right? That means you are my Maiya, right? He said, aha. And then if you are my Maiya, and this is your home, right? He says, aha. Now, if you are my Maiya, then I'm your Lala. Then is this not my home? She said, yeah, Lala. And then he said, if this is my home, then this is my kitchen also. So he says, yeah, Lala. If this is my kitchen, then these pots are also mine. And she said, yeah, Lala. And like that, Krishna escaped, just mesmerizing that gopi. On one occasion, one gopi again caught him. And then he marched him to the streets of Gokul and said, Ari Yashoda, I've caught your Lala red-handed. You are always defending him that why he will take Makhan from you all when we have so much Makhan and so many milk products in our own home. That's our business, Nanda Maharaj's business. She said, I've caught him red-handed. So she had actually put him under the veil because she is going through the streets of Gokul. So naturally, she has to cover herself the veil. And we find that the little children are also covered in the mother's veil or the elderly's veil, so that no najar, no bad omens will catch the eye. So then she says, yes, I've got. So, and then Mother Yashoda on the way out sees that Krishna is sleeping on one of the bedsteads in the home, in the bed. And she says, Hari, what are you saying? My Lala is sleeping right now. He's resting. Shh, quiet. She said, no, your Lala is right here. And she opened the veil. And then what she found was her own son. And then Krishna comes out rubbing his eyes. Maiya, who is making all this noise? Maiya. And Balaji says, Maiya, Lala, go to sleep. Go to sleep. It's okay. She always wants to complain. That's her habit. And then everybody goes back. The whole crowd is gathered. But then Krishna tells that gopi, Idriksa Leela Vir Ananda Kunde. And then everybody goes back. He sees, makes sure the Mother Yashoda has gone back. Everybody's going to say, Maiya, he also calls the elderly gopis in Raj. Maiya, next time you do this to me, you march me like this and try to complain to my mother and bring me in front of my mother, it will not be your son, it will be your father-in-law. So she was shocked and she left but she left with a huge smile on her face, a huge grin. So Idriksa Leela Vir Ananda Kunde Swagosham. This is the Bal Leela. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. It is impossible, even if we had hundreds and hundreds of days and hundreds of hours to describe even a small iota of Krishna's pastimes. So thank you all so much for being patient. Thank you so much. I was just, engrossed myself and I just lost track of time, but I hope that we can take a lot of things home today from Krishna's Bal Leela. And thank you very much for inviting me to ISKCON Central, New Jersey. Krishna Ananda Prabhu, Madhupati Prabhu, and the rest of the Vaishnavas, my obeisances to all of you. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you very much, Sachidananda Prabhu, for a wonderful narration. Thank you. Any devotees, anyone has questions? Please raise your hand.
Would be if I know if people are pressed for time, then they can of course leave, but I'm okay to stay back. And if there's any questions or comments or corrections, please feel free to do so. You may unmute yourself one at a time. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I think Taruni Radha Mata has a question.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for this.
Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Gurudev.
While you're describing this past.
Mataji, can you speak a little louder? I don't know if it's my speaker or it's the internet connection. But go ahead. Yes, Mataji.
Can you hear me now, Prabhuji?
Much better. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So during your discourse, right, there's one particular comment that you said that you had made that you said Sankirtan attracts Krishna. So
Yes.
I was just thinking Sankirtan is like when many devotees are coming together to glorify the Lord. So, but what about japa? Japa, when we are chanting, right, it is just individual, right?
Very nice. So Sankirtan has a couple meanings, at least that I know of. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has explained the meaning of Sankirtan. In Sanskrit, when we break the two words, Samyak Kirtan iti Sankirtan. Samyak means full Kirtan, full, and Kirtan is Kirtan, so glorifying. So when we even chant the holy names of Lord in Japa, definitely it attracts Krishna. How does it attract Krishna? Because when we are chanting sincerely, then Krishna reveals his form, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, etc. to us. So how is it possible? Because he's attracted to the chanting of the holy names. And the holy names, we should not forget, it is just not Krishna in it. It is Hara, Krishna, and Rama. What do they indicate? Hara means all the internal potencies of Krishna. Mahaprabhu has specified in the second verse of the Chaitanya Sistastakam. Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. So who are the Nijas? Nija means his own family, his own Gokul, like Swagosha, his own Vrindavan, his own Vraj. That means we are talking about the Gopis, the Gobas, the Gwalbals, the Sakhas, all of them are present in the word Hara. But because we are in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, our consciousness is further refined, and it is in the Madhurya Rasa, the word Hara indicates the Gopis of Vrindavan in the camp of Srimati Radharani, headed by Sri Radha. Headed by Sri. So they're all, otherwise, why is it? Think about this. Why is it that the Mahamantra is not Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, etc.? Why? Because Radharani is so humble that she wants to include all her internal potencies in the word Hara. So when we are chanting her, actually we are approaching, our Rasika Acharyas have explained, all our Gaudiya Acharyas are present in Hara. So including his Divine Grace Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is none other than a Gopi or a Manjari as Nayana Manjari. Srila Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj, who is an incarnation of Guna Manjari. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is an incarnation of Kamla Manjari. And like that, Rup Goswami is Rup Manjari, Sanatana Goswami is Labanga Manjari, Jiva Goswami is Vilas Manjari, etc. Raghunath Das Goswami is Tulsi Manjari or Rati Manjari. Loknath Goswami is Manjulali Manjari. Krishnadath Kaviraj Goswami is Kasturi Manjari. So all these are present in the word Hara, Hara itself. And then of course, because it is our Pantha is Aroha, when we offer our obeisances, when we think of our acharyas in the perfect parampara, our pranams and our bhakti, it reaches the lotus feet of Radha Krishna, in particular Radhaji. And when it reaches Radhaji, Krishna is very pleased. And then the blessings flow in the opposite direction, right from Nityanand Prabhu or Balram Prabhu all the way to all our acharyas, 32nd in line, His Divine Krishna Prabhupada, and all bona fide gurus or sincere Vaishnavas. The mercy flows like that. So yes, Sankirtan attracts Krishna. Undoubtedly, that is the best method of attracting Krishna, and the most easiest in this, made accessible by the mercy of Mahaprabhu and by his commander-in-chief, Srila Prabhupada, of the Sankirtan movement. So another meaning of Sankirtan is Samyak Kirtan iti Sankirtan, full Kirtan. So it is congregational chanting, but full Kirtan also means when we are fully absorbed in Krishna and Radhaji. That is what Sankirtan is. The Mahamantra is Sankirtan, actually, because the presence of all the Krishna's internal potencies are the present, including Radharani and himself. So that is called full Kirtan. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So sometimes we find that there are many devotees who just believe in Krishna. They don't believe in anybody else. They say it's between me and Krishna. It's just, I don't need Guru. I don't need anybody else, and I'm just worshipping Krishna. So as a side note, Meera Bai, she was a great devotee of Krishna, no doubt. Her devotion was very pure, but it is not in line with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is not in line with our Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because she takes Krishna away from Radhaji. She is not the Swapaksha Gopi of Radha. She is not in the camp of Sri Radha. She is actually in the camp of the opposite camp, more or less in the mood of Chandravali, which is the Dakshin Bhav. So in Dakshin Bhav, meaning it is like, Krishna, you are mine. So they take away Krishna from Radharani. They keep him away. Of course, there's a deeper meaning to all this, why he does that, why they do that. But presently, just to understand that Meera is not in line, although her devotion is great, because there is no Radha. So if we worship, even if you have Krishna alone by himself, and if we are followers of ISKCON or the Gaudiya line, then we should always have Radha Krishna together, or just have Mahaprabhu or the Panchatattva, but just don't have Krishna by himself. Some of us are even inspired to serve Laddu Gopal. That's okay. That's Vatsalya Rasa. But at some point, we have to become mature enough to kind of, refine ourselves. Just like when somebody becomes a doctor, he gets the general physician degree, but later on he specializes. He specializes into an oncologist or a pediatrician or a cardiologist or, pulmonologist. So similarly, our Gaudiya line has a specialty. And what is that specialty within Vaishnavism? Serving Krishna in separation. And serving Krishna and Radharani is the ultimate goal. Actually, Radha Dasyam is the ultimate goal. So that is what Sankirtan leads us to. So this is the important thing. Sankirtan Japa is also Sankirtan, because we have Radha, Krishna, and all the Nija Sarva Shaktis of Krishna present in it. So Samyak means full, complete. Just like when we say, sometimes if there is a family photograph and one of the parent is missing, so then we will say, oh, this is not complete. Mother is missing or grandpa is missing in this picture. Find him. Where is he? We need a complete picture, right? Through our practical experience. So similarly, Sankirtan means the glorification of Radha and Krishna and their intimate associates. That is the true meaning. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has explained the meaning of Sankirtan. So I hope this kind of satisfies your query, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you so much, Raji. Very detailed, very beautifully explained. Thank you.
Thank you. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else?
Looks like no other questions. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarovascha kripa sindhu vevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Vaishnavi Jai.
Yeah, so like as I mentioned, I will be in the New Jersey area from the 12th through the 18th, 19th, 1 week. So if there's any seva for me, please feel free to contact Krishnaram Ananda Prabhu or Madhupati Prabhuji.
We'll get back to you, Prabhu. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining the Sunday Feast program starting from 5:30. Tulsi Arati Prabhupada, please join. today evening. Govindas is on. You can order from Govinda.